What is up, you guys? It is Mike here, and in today's video I'm gonna be giving you guys some Dueling Nexus replay of the new support that just came out, or is about to come out at the time of recording this video, for cubics. And I'm just here to show you guys what the new support is like and what it can do for the deck. And I don't really have that many matches to show you guys. I'm only going to be showing you 2 matches right now. This first one here is going to be against some sort of like Mech Knight, Gizmech, Strudo build, which I've actually never seen before, which is actually pretty strange that I'm seeing it here. But I'm just here to show you guys what the deck is like with the new support that is going to be coming out in Duel Overload for the TCG, which is, I think it's going to be released on March 19, if I'm not mistaken. And basically, I did open up pretty well with this hand here. As you guys can see, I opened up with Duza, which is a great number summon for the deck. I opened up with Karma, Cubic Wave, and Gargile, which is like your special summon for the deck, which lets you like tribute one of your cubics and then special summon it, and when it does, it burns your opponent for about 800, which can be somewhat critical when you're going in for time, but not always applicable in most cases. It's mostly just there just for you to reveal it and special summon your Crimson Nova, which is your your main win condition of the deck. And as you guys can probably see, this is kind of a weird board that this player is making here right now with this Mech Knight deck here. So he special summoned Millennium Eyes with instant fusion. He then special summoned the new Gizmech here by having a monster in the extra monster zone, and he did also pay half for the Strudo, which actually with this deck against it is actually pretty devastating, because the closer you get to life pitch, the more easier it is for you to OTK your opponent pretty easily. So that's one advantage here. And then he goes into this Yazi Yangzing Synchro Monster, which is actually going to be getting pretty better, I think, when Master Wolf 5 comes out in a couple of weeks. And it's just there for popping, if I'm not mistaken. And I go ahead and start off with my turn. So I start off obviously with the best card or best number summon on my deck with Duza. I activate its effect to send, most of the time you'd want to send Karma to the grave, which I then do, and then I activate Karma from the grave to go ahead and add a cubic monster from my deck to my hand, which in this case obviously I'm going to be adding Crimson Nova, since I've already have a way to special summon it just by revealing 3 cards in my hand. And then I go ahead and then reveal them to my hand to then special summon it to the field. And the other cubic card I have in my hand is somewhat of a brick, but with cards like Cubic Karma in the, Cubic Garna or something in the deck. It's also a continuous spell. It lets me unbreak it from my hand and send it to the grave to draw a card, which is actually good. So you get to dig for your cards and get more stuff in the grave to trigger off more of their effects, because obviously your cubic spells and traps are really good when they're in the grave. And I activate Cubic Wave just so I can potentially go for that OTK. I have the Gizmech on the field and double Crimson Nova's attack to 6,000, which is actually really good. And then just to get this brick out of my hand, I activate Cubic Karma, then target Crimson Nova to boost its attack even more, so I can get more damage here. Because the really good effect about Crimson Nova is that it's unaffected by your opponent's monster's activate effects with 3,000 more attack. And then he just scoops from there. There's not much he can do. And then we go ahead and go into the second match here, which is some sort of like danger build with some with EVR millions here in his deck that I suspect he is playing the Grand Maju build with dangers. I'm not quite sure at this point, because I don't really see this kind of danger in most Grand Maju builds from what I've seen lately. But I think that's kind of the match that I went for here. I'm not quite sure, because he never really normal summoned into Grand Maju during this match. But this is one of the more longer matches here compared to the other one where my opponent just scooped, because Crimson Nova is such a powerful card. And then yeah, he starts off with his turn discarding this danger here, and then special summoning into this, and then he activates Chupacabra, discards that, draws one, and then we both discard one. And yeah, I start off with my turn. I summon into Duza, and then I activate effect to send a cubic card from my deck to my grave. And I'm obviously going to be sending Karma to the grave because I already somewhat met its win condition. But here in this match, I just kind of wanted to show you guys kind of what the deck struggles against. So he did Ash me in this case, which prevented me from sending anything from my deck to the grave, which is one of the big weaknesses of the deck. It is somewhat prone to hand traps, especially if you're trying to search out a Crimson Nova fairly quickly. So that's kind of why I wanted to show you guys this match, because I did lose here, but I'm just showing you guys this because it is somewhat important for me to show you guys what this deck struggles against. And as you guys can see, I didn't open up very well here after doing that, so I was just forced to activate Karma from my hand, use its attack just to get over this danger here, and so that I can clear his board for more damage. And then yeah, I just end up passing my turn there and sending the Ascension from sending it to the field. And I kind of misplayed with that here because there wasn't really a point for me to set that because of the fact that I've already sent all three V-Jumps from my deck to the grave. Because Cubic Ascension, actually, if you guys can read here, which you probably can't because it's somewhat blurry, it actually only works when you have at least one V-Jump in your deck, because it's effectively to that when your opponent's monster declares an attack, you get to special summon one V-Jump from your deck, and if you do, change the attack target to that. And since I sent all three to the grave, I actually have no targets in my deck to send to special summon from the deck anymore, and that's kind of why I made a misplay there. But then he banishes 6 cards from his extra deck, and then goes into special summoning into Eater Millions, which honestly is one of the bigger monsters that can get over something like Crimson Nova. If I'm not mistaken, I'm not sure about that here. I don't think it can, but in this case, he is able to clear my board fairly quickly with that, because most of the time, most decks wouldn't really have an out to something this big. I think there are some decks that I can think of that I'm not really thinking of right now, but then he just attacks over it, activate Million's attack, banishes it face down, which is obviously a big threat for me because now I don't really have that many openers in my hand or anything really good to start off to summon into Crimson Nova. So I just go ahead and summon Duza, the Meteor Cubic Vessel, from my hand again. I try to send something from the deck to the grave, and even though I can send something there, I don't have a lot of outs at this point to really do a whole lot with the deck, so I just go ahead and just summon this and then send Karma to the grave. I activate Karma here, and then from there I just try to search out Crimson Nova, even though there's really no way for me to search it out. But I'm just really doing here for the deck thinning at this point, because I don't really have much else here to search here in my hand, in my deck at this point. And then from there, I did also make somewhat of a misplay here and did try to attack into Eater Millions, which is obviously really not good, because its effect also works when you're also attacking into it. And obviously he activates it and banishes it face down, and that's where I lose from there. And then main phase 2, I just set the Call by the Grave in my hand, which I don't think is going to do a lot at this point, and then I just pass for turn. And this is obviously one of the really big downsides of this deck. It does lose very quickly if you cannot see all of your cubic cards in your hand to special summon to Crimson Nova, which is obviously really hard because sending Crimson Nova also to the grave doesn't even work that well, because the most that you could do when it's in the grave is only to add it back to your hand, because this card cannot be special summoned other ways, which is a really big downside. So if you try to dump it with something like Foolish Barrier or something, you won't be able to special summon it back. You'll only be able to add it back from your hand with the cubic Dharma, if I'm not mistaken. That's the only other really good way of seeing it into your hand without summoning Duza. And here at this point, he just activates card destruction, so we discard our entire hand, and then I draw 3 cards. And obviously, this is one of the no continuous spells that I was talking about here, which is Cupid Darna, which has 2 really good effects. Its first effect on the field lets you discard a cubic card to draw 1 card, which is really good for digging and lets you see more of your cubic cards. And the other good effect is when this card is in the grave, you can banish it and add a cubic card from your deck to your hand. And in this case, he does attempt to activate Bigfoot. I am very tempted to activate Call by the Grave, but in this case, I don't think it would really matter at this point, because actually I would want the Karma in my grave to be able to later on get that search, so I can go ahead and special summon into Crimson Nova. So I leave my Call by the Grave set during this turn, and then he just attacks me with Thunderbird and then Hero Millions, and I obviously take a lot of damage here. And yeah, he just, after this, I think he just ends his turn, and then I start off with my turn. And yeah, I'm not really sure what I draw at this point, because obviously you guys can tell I'm doing a voiceover here. And yeah, this is just really bad hand at this point. I don't really have a lot I can do unless I draw a 3rd cubic card, which will be really good, so that I can special summon to Crimson Nova. And I do, which is really good, but the problem is Crimson Nova is only really good if I have 3 other cubic cards in my hand. 2 of them cannot be the same, they have to be 3 with different names. So in this case, I activate Cubic Dharma, which is the name. I'm so sorry, I forgot that, guys. But yeah, I activate it in my hand, and then I attempt to use its effect to discard a cubic card to draw 1 card, because I need to see more of my cards here. And that's what I attempt to do. Yeah, I activate it, and at this case, I think I'd probably want to get rid of the Cubic Behemoth here in my hand, because it doesn't do a whole lot, because it only works, and it's only really good for special summoning when I have 3 cards in my hand. Well, 3 cubic monsters on my field. I don't know why I made a misplay here. I did discard the cubic Dharma in my hand, which is a misplay for me, because I obviously want that in my hand, to be honest, because that is a really good card for me to use. But yeah, I just did that, and then I activated it from my grave to add a cubic card from my deck to my hand. Oh, no, not from my deck to my hand, from my graveyard to my hand. And then I activate V-Jump, and then I attempt to activate the cubic Karma in my grave to search out the 2nd cubic Crimson Nova from my deck to my hand, which in this case I do, which is obviously really good that I did, because I don't think I would have came up with this play if I discarded the cubic Behemoth from my hand. But obviously in this case, I attempt to special summon into Crimson Nova, revealing the Duza, the V-Jump, and the cubic Behemoth in my hand. And hopefully it does go through, which actually in this case it doesn't, because my opponent's deck card is Super Poly, which is obviously one of the really big outs to this deck, because it is a dark, and it's really easy to get over that really quickly, considering it's at 3 and stuff. And when I summon it, that's when he activates it, which is honestly really bad for me, because now my win condition is gone. And with only Duze in my hand, it's gonna make it really hard for me here to be able to special summon into another Crimson Nova, because I'm gonna be missing a 3rd cubic card in my hand to do this. So yeah, he attempts to activate it, and then he goes into Starving Venom, obviously, And at this point, I don't really have a lot of outs. I did try to activate Super Poly. I'm not really sure why I wasn't able to. If you guys could let me know in the comments below, that would be really good. But in this case, I can't really explain why I wasn't able to. But yeah, but then I just go ahead and summon Medusa. I activate its effect, send another cubic card from my deck to the grave. And I'm not really sure what I'm sending in this case. I think I might send another Karma. I'm not sure. I think that's what I'm gonna be sending. Not sure yet. It is lagging a little bit here. When I was playing in this case, I'm not really sure why, but yeah, it was. But I actually sent Cubic Wave to the grave, which also has a fairly decent, good grave. So I can banish this and then banish any number of cubic monsters from my, and then I get to target that many monsters on the field to go ahead and put cubic counters on them. And with each cubic counter on each monster, it lets you negate their effects on the field and also prevent them from attacking. So I go ahead and do that. I activate its effect to send at least 2 V-jumps, if I'm not mistaken, in this case. And this to the grave, so I can target Eater Million and Starving Venom, because Starving Venom is obviously one of my biggest threats here. And with the counter that I gave to Eater Million, his attack now goes to 0, and he can use its effect to banish my monster face down, which is good, so I can get over it fairly well. And then I go and go into the battle phase. I attack into it, because obviously I'm not going to attack the Starving Venom. And yeah, that's what I do. I attack into it, and obviously it does attempt to activate its effect, but it doesn't go through because Eater Millions can't activate its effect with that counter on it, which is good. Now I'm able to get over it fairly well. And then from there, not much else happens here, guys. It just goes to the grave. I take out 1600, and then I try to set the Super Poly in my main phase 2, and then for some reason the game lagged, and then I just passed. And from there, the game disconnected, and he didn't really have much else to do from there. So that's it, really, guys. That's all I wanted to show you here for this Dueling Nexus replay. I hope you really guys did enjoy it. This deck is actually a lot of fun now, and with the new support that it's getting, I hope it can become more of a better rogue strategy for the TCG. Because obviously in the OCG, this doesn't do a whole lot with the new support, but it does do fairly well. If you guys did enjoy it, feel free to give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below what you guys do want to see next. And if you do join my content, want to see more like this, feel free to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, just so that you guys don't miss out anything. I upload more videos. And that's gonna be it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. This is Center 45 signing off.